Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing, an inside look at the many facets of work that is happening at the Department of Children and Families, between our staff, the families we serve, and our community partners. My name is Jaqueline Ford. I have had the honor of working for the department for almost 30 years. And although I may be familiar with many of the topics we bring to you, I have invited experts in those fields to help us dispel the myths and misconceptions that can often be barriers to our work. Join us as we open our doors and invite you to have a seat at our table. Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing. My name is Jaqueline Ford, and I'm the host of today's show. We're opening the doors to the lives of DCF, the partners that we work together with, and the children and families that we serve. Today, we're going to talk about three very special young people who need a forever home. Andy, we're going to talk about Andy, and a few of the names have been changed for the privacy of the children, but we're going to talk about Andy and Daniel and Javion. And today we have three social workers from the Department of Children and Families who know these children best, and they're going to share with us what these children need. Thank you all for joining me on the set of Doors to Hope and Healing. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We're going to introduce ourselves, and then we're going to talk about these three special young people. So let's start with you, Dana.
Hi, I'm Dana Webb. I am currently a social work supervisor. I have been with the department for about 7 years. I started off as an ongoing social worker, moved my way over to the intake department, and then here I am now.
Supervising and leading and supporting your staff.
Yep.
Thank you for being here.
Hi.
Carlos?
I'm Carlos Hernandez. I'm a social worker for the Department of Children and Families in Bridgeport, Region 1. I've been with the department now for about 20 years, and I've served in the roles of ongoing treatment, intake, and permanency.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. And Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie Glennon. I am a social work supervisor, and I have been with the department for 26 years. The majority of my time has been working in a permanency unit, which helps to find children forever homes. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to be here with you all to talk about our kids.
Thank you. It is. And, you know, no one better to talk about the kids we're trying to find homes for, but the staff that know them best. So thank you. So Dana, you're here today to talk about Andy. So let's begin with that. How long have you been working with Andy, and what has your role been in supporting his care?
So a variety of providers have had the opportunity to work with Andy over the years. Andy has been attending school at Apples prior to his hospital stay. Andy has been taken care of by, like I said, staff at various hospitals, including Yale, Hospital Specialty Care. I personally have worked with Andy for the past year. I have been not only had the opportunity to work alongside with his providers, but also have interacted with Andy as well as helped support the biological parents through this process as well.
That's wonderful, because they're a part of this whole process. So how old is Andy? And tell us a little bit about his personality.
So Andy is 5 years young. When you see Andy, he brings so much joy and warmth to your heart. He's gentle, he's innocent, he's kind. He's like a little mush. You just want to hug him. His smile, it goes from ear to ear. He draws and lights up the room or anyone else who is around him. Andy is very fascinated by human interaction, toy interaction, any sensory interaction as well. He really enjoys music. He loves instruments, especially like the drums. And the maracas, and like I said, he loves anything that's sensory and that brings sound, and it brings joy.
Those sound like great activities. And you mentioned that he responds well to music. Can you share a moment that stands out with music?
So he really, while he's at Yale right now, he works alongside with a lot of child life specialists. So they'll come in, they'll do music time. They'll put on some music or they'll play music for him, and he responds really well to vocal cues, and he'll start moving and he'll start just showing that he's really engaged.
That's great. What does a typical day for Andy look like in terms of his care and the way engagement with him?
So Andy was attending school from a full day, so 8 to 4. He was receiving lots of support at school. He was receiving physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and then he was participating in morning meetings, and then just really just interacting with other kids in the classroom. After school, he'll just engage with the family, have, interactive play with the other siblings that he was around, as well as just participate in dinner time, bedtime, and so forth.
How would you say his interaction with other children are when he's at the Apple school?
So he'll get wheeled in and into the classroom, and then his eyes will just widen so bright, and it'll just sometimes when he gets wheeled in, the teachers have noted that sometimes he'll be a little bit sleepy from the car ride, but as soon as he walks in, he's just it's just his eyes brighten up, and you can tell that he is just surrounded by just so much joy, and he just loves, like I said, that connection and that interaction from other people.
The attention.
Yeah.
Because he's nonverbal, what are some, cues that someone who's caring for him can be looking for, or they know, after you work with someone for a long time, one of our kids, you kind of understand what their cues are. How can you explain his cues?
So as I mentioned before, he'll give off some vocal cues. So even though he's nonverbal, he is able to, sometimes make certain sounds, and you can easily pick up on, if it's something he likes or not likes. He'll also move his feet. He will giggle, he will laugh, and he'll turn his head side to side. And again, he'll also smile. And again, the eyes are they widen greatly. So
if one of our viewers is watching now and they want to know more about Andy, what do you feel is the best caregiver or family for Andy?
A home that is going to welcome him, to love him, and to engage him. Andy loves being around other children and just other people in general. DCF is really looking for someone who does have somewhat of an understanding of his needs, because he does have some medical challenges. The caregiver doesn't need to be a medical expert, but willing to help and willing to receive support, because there are a lot of supportive team members that are part of his care and that are his village. And like I mentioned before, it's the school and the hospital who have been there alongside with him.
So what kind of training would we be able to offer to a family that comes forward, for his medical devices, his equipment that he has, so that he can stay in his routine and be comfortable adjusting in a new home?
So the caregiver would receive as much hands-on support from the medical staff. Yale is willing to assist the caregiver. There are a few different equipments that the caregiver would need to learn, such as a CPAP machine, a oxygen machine, as well as a feeding tube, a continuous pulse ox, as well as a cough assist machine. He does have a special car seat and a special bath seat, as well as a special bed. But again, not only Yale will provide that support, but also the school is more than willing as well.
So there'll be a lot of supports and training. What's the search process been like for you and your team at DCF to find Andy a medically complex foster care placement?
It's been a little bit of a challenge, just because a lot of our current foster homes don't have that medical background per se. So it does take somewhat of an effort and a willingness to learn, to be able to know how to care for enough. So it's been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine it has been. Well, hopefully one of our viewers today is listening and watching. Tell us a little bit, before I move on and learn about the other kids, what about the red balloon and how that helps with his sensory and his excitement?
Red is one of those colors that, with those with disabilities, red is one of those colors that they can usually pick up on. He loves red balloons, he loves red scarves, and from what the staff at his school would say, he would just, again, get very excited. He would just be super alert and just engaged whenever he would see the color red. So
That's beautiful. To drape him in red.
Yes.
I'll be wearing
Yeah.
red when he finds his home. Thank you. And we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So Carrie, I'm going to jump over to Carrie. I'd love to talk to you about Javion. Am I saying their name right?
Javion, yes.
Javion. A bright and engaging young man. Can you tell us how long you and your staff have worked with him?
Javion, I've worked with Javion, I want to say, for approximately 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a little tyke when he came into care. I have been on his journey for 7 years, from trying to reunify to placing with relatives to terminating parental rights and having him up for adoption.
How old is he now?
He's 12.
12 years old.
He's 12. And he's just a wonderful kid. I can't say, and I probably will say a lot about him, but I've been very lucky to be a part of his journey, and all of his social workers who have worked with him, whether they were community providers or DCF internal social workers, they just adore him. It takes about a month, and they're just hooked on Javion.
So I'm going to give you a chance to brag about him. So tell us about his best qualities and what's most endearing about Javion.
You know, you picked a great word, endearing. Javion, he is, when you meet him, he's very cautious, and he kind of sizes you up, looks you up and down, figures out who you are, and responds accordingly. He is a very sweet young man. He does have some challenges, but one of the most amazing qualities about Javion is his resilience. He is a very resilient child. He's very aware of his planning and who's involved in his life. And he will let you know when he's upset, and he will let you know when he's ecstatic about something. And then he'll let you know when he misses someone. If he misses his last social worker, he will ask about, oh, where did they go? You know, if they've been promoted or moved on. He's just a very wonderful, engaging young man.
And what type of activities does he like to do?
Javion, he loves YouTube, video games. Legos are still in there somewhere, but it's definitely, he's a great gamer. He loves gaming. But you know what he loves the most? It's that one-on-one attention. One-on-one attention, whether it's with an adult, whether it's with an older child, or even him being like the role model to a younger child. He loves one-on-one interaction.
And does he like to game with someone else when he's doing his gaming?
Yes, and that has helped him a lot through connecting. Where right now they have a lounge area where the children go together to play the video games. That is what they have to do. They have to go together. They play the games where they're on a team and they're learning to cooperate. And they also have a little more challenging when they're one against the other, which sometimes he struggles with losing, but what 12-year-old doesn't?
Learning. Right.
And he's learning to use his coping skills and not get really angry that he lost again. But he really loves to game, and he loves to look, they watch YouTube videos of children playing the games.
Oh.
It's pretty incredible, his connection to that. Sometimes we tell him enough with the video games, let's go outside. And he responds to that as well.
He just likes the attention.
He loves
that positive attention.
Yes.
So talk to us about those coping skills. How have you seen him grow with his positive peer relationships and his coping skills?
Javion still struggles a bit with his peer relationships. If he's around his peers and his peers tend to dysregulate, he will dysregulate with them. He's working on that now. He's actually learning to stop, take a moment. They use the stoplight method with him. Stop, identify your feelings. And Javion has also learned to take a break, step away for a minute, take a walk. Sometimes he forgets to tell you he wants to walk. He just walks away, but he will then let you know he's taking a break. I need some space. So he's learning. He's definitely made a lot of improvements over the past year. He's starting to grow up. He has so much potential, and he's really starting to come into his own.
He's a tween, right? He's 12 years old.
He's 12 years old.
Yes. What kind of family would be best matched for Javion? Like, what qualities in a family do you think would be who he needs?
Javion really needs a family that is going to be his foundation. He needs to be able to lean on them and stand on them so they can help him grow and learn and become a happy and respectful, responsible adult. He has to have a family that would be willing to really commit to him. So when Javion is maybe a little fresh and he walks away, he'll still turn and look back to make sure you're standing there. So it has to be a family that has an unwavering commitment to provide him with love and watch him grow.
And now he's involved with the Police Explorers program. So tell us about that.
He's not involved with that.
Oh, he's not involved with
No.
that. Okay. Is Daniel involved with the Police Explorers? Okay. I had that on my list. And when you imagine his forever home, what do you, I mean, you've been with him for so long. And I think that's really is, when you say you're grateful, he's very fortunate to have had somebody in his life that has been consistent for that many years. And when you look at who that family would be for him, who do you envision?
Well, what I envision for him is a family who is just going to be there to be his constant. I would throw in, he loves dogs. So maybe if there was a dog there, he would love that. He loves animals. He'll settle for a hamster. But I would really like to see Javion with a family who's going to be there through thick and thin, and the family that lets Javion know that life can be tough, but I'm going to be here for you.
And that's what he deserves to have
Yes.
that. Okay, Carlos, we're going to talk to you now about Daniel.
Yes.
So he's a child we're highlighting today. And without, sharing, identifying details, can you tell us more about him, like his age, his personality?
Well, Daniel is 14 years old, almost 14 and 8 months. He's a really kind kid, but he's nonverbal. He does a lot of noises, like how should I say, like hearing his own voice going up and down with high tones, and that's usually when he's doing like a really high tone. You can tell that he's very happy and engaging. He's a very kind kid. He tends not to keep to himself. When we got the case, his interaction or he's nonverbal, so it's very hard to interact with him initially. But now that he's been at his placement, they've been able to get him to be more engaging with others.
So the longer you get to know him, those cues that we were talking about, even with Andy, the caregiver gets to be familiar with that. So I know that for Daniel, relatives and family was very important. What challenges have you encountered with regards to Daniel's family?
The parents, we've tried very hard, and they're not communicating with the department anymore. To that effect, that the juvenile court has committed Daniel to us, to the department, and we're now his legal guardian.
Okay.
We've done interstate search for paternal and maternal relatives, which none of the paternal have really responded, or the ones that haven't been interested. Some of the maternal relatives have been interested, but there's been zero follow-up.
So for our viewers who are watching and they don't know what the ICPC process is, so that's an agreement with another state to care for one of our kids, right?
Yes.
So is that what you've been looking in other states to try to find the resource for him, and Puerto Rico as well?
Yes, the Interstate Compact is an agreement between all 50 states and the U.S. territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Virgin Islands, where basically our counterpart agencies in Child Protection Services, we ask permission for our counterparts to look into the families and do an assessment and let us know if it's a right fit for us to place the child there, and also to ask the permission of that state or territory for us to do so.
So you've been doing that assessment to try to find him family in other state.
We haven't reached to that state because we have to first find somebody who's willing, and once they are, they got to give me certain information to then submit that to our Interstate Compact office.
Okay, so complicated. We have so many working aspects of our work at DCF. So Daniel has complex medical and developmental needs. Can you explain what his day is like? What requirements does he need support with?
Well, Daniel is on the autism spectrum scale. Like I said earlier, he's nonverbal. He also has epilepsy, and he also has diagnosed with ADHD. He receives medication to help him with his epilepsy, which ever since in our care, there has not been one incident of epilepsy. Of course, this is known by history and also because of his medical providers. But under his medication, his epilepsy has been completely under control. When it comes to his medication is also for his behaviors, which are usually related to him just um, when he doesn't get his tablet or something like that, he'll scratch himself. It's usually mostly inflicted kind of things. Like he'll scratch himself, or there's been some biting, and that's about it.
To himself?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of activities does he like to do? What brings him joy?
He loves, well, like most today's kids, he loves to be on electronics, be on a tablet. One of the things that he likes to watch on the tablet is YouTube shows they're mostly meant really for younger children, like the preschool age. He loves to watch those shows, especially the ones that involve music. His staff at Addelbrook have mentioned to me several times that anytime you put any type of music, but especially Spanish music, he loves to listen to that.
That's wonderful. He's currently in a residential program. What would be the importance of making sure that transition from residential to a family is made in very careful planning?
Ever since coming into our care, we were trying to find a suitable home that could deal with his needs. And at the get-go, we weren't able to, so hence why we were able to place him at Addelbrook, which would quickly assess the situation of what his needs were, which they have, and they've been mitigating those situations ever since. They've told us several times that he's already ready to transition, and the only barrier that we have at this point in time is that the parent piece, or the piece of going into a home and getting those individuals to work on understanding what his needs are, what the type of structure that he needs, and what strategies to use once he goes to a home setting.
Okay. And so to clarify for our viewers, I know that Javion needs a permanent home because his legal status, he's terminated. Parental rights are terminated, so he's ready for his forever home. Whereas Daniel and Andy, you're looking for long-term foster care right now, given his legal status with our department. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that? Okay.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure for our viewers, so we kind of walk this walk every day, and we assume everyone knows, but not everyone knows.
Yes, the department just filed a permanency plan for Daniel where we're asking for termination of parental rights. And once that gets approved, then we'll file the motion and then go through the process.
Okay. So for our viewers that are watching and knowing that Daniel is ready to leave Addelbrook and he's ready to be in a home, a home setting, what do you envision as being the home that Daniel needs? What type of family?
The type of family will be a caring family that has the patience to be patient with Daniel, and a two-parent household will be ideal because they can help one another with Daniel's needs and all the services that he may require through ABA services for the autism, and also with the mental health, which because of the ADHD.
And what type of supports will DCF provide to the family when they get licensed?
The department will continue to provide case management, and will provide the stipend for foster care, as well as making any of the necessary referrals to address the needs, like through ABA or through the mental health providers that he may need. In the future, he's already been put on the list for DDS services, which stands for the Department of Disability Services, and I'm forgetting something else, but there's a lot of services that will be in place for him that will assist the family.
So that's wonderful to know. So for our viewers that are watching, if anyone is interested in learning more about the three children, your email addresses are underneath your names when you are speaking, so that they can reach out, or they can call our Kid Hero line, and I'll mention that again before we close. But as we think about these three incredible children, I just want to ask you all just a few more questions. For Dana, what message would you share with somebody watching who might be considering opening their home to a special needs or medically complex child? It sounds frightening. You know, these children that we're talking about today, they have very specialized individual needs. Many of them kind of are parallel, they overlap. But what would you say to a family who came to you and said, you know, can I do this?
Andy will change their lives. He will leave a very positive impact. He will probably help them more than they will help him. And if they have a child, that child will probably learn empathy from just being around from Andy.
That's beautiful. Carlos, what about Daniel? What, you know, if someone said, I'm thinking about it, I'm hesitant, what would you tell them if they were considering moving forward for Daniel?
With Daniel, I think Daniel has a lot to give in his heart as well. I've seen him with his staff mostly at Alderbrook, and they're very close bonded to him. Usually, residential facilities are quick to ask us to, but they haven't. They haven't asked us. They're like, take your time. Let us know when a suitable placement is ready to take him.
Yeah, the staff at Alderbrook are great. We did a prom event for prom gowns and tuxedos at one of the community spaces, and they brought several of their kids to pick out dresses and tuxedos, and they were a joy. But you could just tell how much the staff really loved those kids.
Yes. And he has a really close bond with his one-to-one, which works with him both in the residential and in the school setting.
That's wonderful. So Carrie, Javion, what would you say to one of our viewers who they're thinking about this and they just are a little cautious about coming forward, and you know him so well?
I would say, if you're thinking about coming forward for Javion, do it. To echo what Dana said, Javion will change your life. Javion wants to be loved. He wants that family. He wants to celebrate his birthday. He wants to be with a family for Christmas, for Easter, for any of those holidays, to have a family come and see a school play he may be in or any special events. Javion is just a wonderful young man with so much potential, and anybody that's considering coming forward to him has the opportunity, you know how they say, to change a child's life. They really do, especially with Javion. So I would encourage anyone to give us a call.
Thank you. Thank you. So for all three of the kids, our viewers can call 1-888-KID-HERO, or you can email the staff directly and ask any questions that you may have about the children. But I thank you all for being a part of the show today, and I hope that this will bring about many resources for your kids that you're presenting, and then the other children in the Heart Gallery that are waiting for a home as well. Each of the children that we talked about today, Andy, Javion, and Daniel, they remind us of the power of connection, compassion, and belonging. Permanency isn't just about placement. It's about love that lasts and a home that heals. If you're watching and you feel, that you want to learn more about these three children and other children that are involved in our program, you can visit our website, or you can email the staff that are here today, or you can call 1-888-KID-HERO. Thank you for joining us on Doors to Hope and Healing, and until next time, may we all continue to open doors that lead to hope and healing. Thank you.
Sometimes life just happens. Don't worry. Farmington Motorsports will get you back on the road and at a fair price. From towing to tires, emissions to transmissions.
Our ASC certified techs do it all.
Farmington Motorsports is a family-run business. We're a Napa Auto Center and AAA approved. We work on all makes and models, from preventative maintenance to major repairs.
And every repair is backed by our 2-year, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty.
When life happens to you, don't worry. Farmington Motorsports.